You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And now, Mike's thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, I want to be perfectly clear when I say this. I'm going to say it nice and slow for the people in the back. I want to say it loud and clear for the people in the back. There is absolutely no race baiting on this show. If I start to see race baiting in the comments or in our live shows or from anybody else that I'm associated with, you will be blocked from the page. It is simple as that. I do not race bait, I do not talk about race, and I don't want to see it in my comments. It is simple as that. I am not ESPN. I am not Ryan Clark. I do not have racially motivated agendas. I am not Skip Bayless. I do not have racially motivated situations. The simple fact of the matter is it is stupid, it is asinine, it is ass-10, hell, it's ass-11. Dave, I'm talking to you. Every one of your comments have been about race the last 2 weeks, and it is annoying. You have been blocked. You can still see stuff. You can think you're commenting, but guess what? Nobody's able to see it. Not at all. So with that being said, guys, this is a live, raw, uncut NFL show. I do this because I want to, and I will block you because I want to. It is what it is. Now, I don't block people that have disagreeing opinions as me. I don't block people that want to have intelligent conversations. I don't block people that want to call me clowns or to kill myself or do this and this. But once you start bringing race into it and start trying to trigger other people about race, you are going to be blocked. It's simple as that. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation! Rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour.
What?
Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckcusher here with the Man Hour Show, to manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section, check out the merch section, and check out the Explore tab as well. Guys, it is Wednesday. Is it already Wednesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Tuesday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk, and we are going to recap the weekend of the divisional round from the NFC side of things. We're going to talk about the Commanders versus the Lions. Is Jared Goff really the reason why that the Lions lost that game to the Washington Commanders? And then we're going to talk about the Washington Commanders playing with house money. Playing with house money, they bet on red, and they keep on winning. Is it luck or are they just talented? We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders, guys. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the Lions, and then we're going to talk about the Ravens, the Rams and Eagles as well. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. Will he be the reason why the Eagles do not win the Super Bowl? Is Jalen Hurts the reason why they will not win the Super Bowl? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Sean McVay. Sean McVay. What about Sean McVay? Stay tuned. We'll talk about Sean McVay. Is he out of L.A.? What? And then Saquon Barkley, has he been used and abused too much this season? And then hour number 2 comes rolling around. We got to welcome Mark D in the chat there. And then we got to welcome Hoffy into the show as well for Toxic Tuesday. And we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. This is, I didn't make these topics. It was all Hoffy and Mark. Hoffy wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And then we're going to talk about the most delusional fan bases in the NFL, talking about you Raiders fans. And then Ben Johnson will be fired in Chicago in just 3 years. And then, of course, we're going to end the show with a little bit of fact, a little bit of crap. We're talking about Travis Kelce, and is it better losing the divisional round or the championship round? So, guys, we got a lot we got to talk about that and a hell of a lot more today's show. But most importantly, guys, we got to welcome people in the chat. We got to welcome the people into the chat. And first off, as always, we got Laura Johnson-Hedrick is in the chat. She is in the chat, and she is loving life. She says, good evening. Laura, guys, is the Pigskin Pundit, guys. Laura's a Pigskin Pundit. We had the after show last night with just Pigskin Pundits with member-only stream. Laura was a part of that. We talked a lot about Lamar Jackson. So if you guys want to be like Laura and you want to be like Jim and John and see the after-hour show, become a Pigskin Pundit. Click on that link below. And Jim, the CEO of the Pigskin Pundit, says, hey, I'm driving, so I'll be listening to while everybody else is wrong. Jim, drive safe out there, man. Like I know in here, Kentucky, my phone says it's we're down to 3 degrees, so it is cold out there, Jim. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Then we got my man Hoffy's in the chat as well. He'll be on in hour number 2. He says, man, our nation rise up. And I said, who let the ginger in? And am I talking about myself? Am I talking about Hoffy? Or am I talking about Combs? Mark D is almost a ginger, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But still, guys, Hoffy says also, F the Vikings. F the Vikings. And Laura says, what do my Vikings have done to you to live in rent-free in y'all's head? Sheesh. They've been out a few weeks. Their names are still coming out of your fingers. Get over it. Get over it. Hey, Laura, easy targets, right? Easy low-hanging fruit. My man John Peoples in the chat as well. He's a part of the Pigskin Pundit. He says, an old man River in the house. What's up, John? What's up? Then we got my man Jonah Ross, Cincinnati Bengals fan himself, says, yo, what's up, Jonah? Hope you have a good day, man. Oh, happy Tuesday, and go Bengals, baby. Next year, the Bengals are winning it all. And Hoffy says, Buck is soft. Hoffy, you are right. I'm a very, very soft individual. Very soft individual, and I don't like it when you talk shit to me, Hoffy. I'm just saying. Darcy's in the chat as well. He says, I'm here to talk about my Detroit Lions. Okay, Darcy. I'm here to talk about your Detroit Lions and how I told you so. I was on your show. I try to give the Lions the benefit of the doubt, but deep down, I knew they weren't going to do anything. My Alpha Robin's in the chat, the Buffalo Bills fan himself. He says, what up, Buck? The Bills are by 13. Alpha Rob, you know about 13 seconds or 13 in general all too well. I'm just saying 13 seconds, 13 points, man. Well, whatever. We will be talking about the Chiefs and the Bills, and then the not the Lions, but the Commanders and the Eagles starting tomorrow. So tomorrow we start the championship talk. Jonah says, how are you doing, man? Look, Jonah, I am always great, man. I am always great. We woke up alive. We're breathing nice cold air deep into our lungs, and it burns. Oh man, I love life. I'm doing great. Hopefully everybody else is doing well as well. And Darcy wants to say that Kansas City is going down this weekend. Very, very could well. Very well could well be. We'll be talking about it a lot Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we gotta actually on the after hours show on Wednesday, Mark will be on with me, and maybe, just maybe, we'll give predictions on that particular show. We'll give prediction. Speaking of Mark D, he is in the chat. What's up, Mark? What's up? And John says, how about AG he signed? I heard Aaron Glenn left New York without a deal. So unless something has changed in the last 30, 40 minutes, as far as I know, he does not have a deal yet with the New York Jets. So to be determined. He still has other interviews with like the Saints and the Jaguars, and hell, the Raiders could come calling, the Dallas Cowboys could be calling. But Aaron Glenn will get a deal eventually. He just doing what's right for him, right? He has choices, so use those choices. Hoffy says, I did not come up with the topics, Buck. Still putting in words in my mouth. Listen, I did not come up with those topics, Hoffy. You want to talk about the Chiefs, you're going to talk about the Chiefs in hour number two. Jonah says, not going to lie, I like this guy. Jonah, I like you too, man. Go Bengals. Super Bowl next season, baby. Super Bowl next season. Darcy says, tune in tomorrow at 7:45 Wednesday for show finale. No, this is not my show finale. It might be your show finale, but we go all year round, baby. We are Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, every day. I mean, of course, during the summer, we're going to take a little vacation, re-amp the studio, re-amp the overlays. But, man, football is 24/7. Football is 24/7. Just because your Lions lost, it doesn't matter, baby. 24/7. John says Joe Burrow should be the MVP. John, honestly, man, I think you are right. I mean, obviously, it is down between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, but really, legitimately, it should be between Joe Burrow and then Saquon Barkley. That's who the real race should be. Hell, you might even want to throw Jamar Chase in there too, right? But hey, it is what it is. Dennis Wilder is in the chat as well. He says Buffaloes with the trophy emoji. Listen, if my Kansas City Chiefs do not win the Super Bowl, Dennis, Alpha Rob, Carson, the rest of you Buffalo Bill fans out there, I will be rooting for you Buffalo Bills, right? I will be rooting for the Buffalo Bills. I'm just saying. If my Kansas City Chiefs don't get past you guys, I want to lose to the Super Bowl champion. So do it, right? Do it. And then Jim says Detroit is so 2 days ago. I know, Jim. I know, but I wanted to let my thoughts simmer. I wanted to simmer down the thoughts. I didn't want to go overboard on the Detroit Lions, saying, hey, I told you so, guys, back in week 5, you weren't going to win the Super Bowl if you don't get an edge rusher. I didn't want to go too far in on them, saying, hey, you guys are going to be a first round exit. I didn't want to go too far in on them and make them cry, Jim. I like my Facebook page, and I want to be monetized still, so I didn't want them all like mass reporting me because they're Bucks bullying us. So I calmed down a little bit. I calmed down. Jonas says, "Who is my team? My Kansas City Chiefs." All right there. I born and raised Kansas City Chiefs fan. We got the back-to-back Super Bowl flag right there. That will be hanging up on the wall very, very shortly. I am from Kansas City, so I'm born and raised a Chiefs fan. So yeah, it is what it is. Dennis said, my Bears got their coach. Dennis, I want you to stay tuned for hour number 2. I want you to stay around for hour number 2, because in hour number 2, we are going to talk about your Chicago Bears. We are going to be talking about Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. On Toxic Tuesday, the most toxic organization in NFL, the Chicago Bears, we are going to be talking about your team, Dennis. So stay around for hour number 2, man. And then Alpha Rob says, those Detroit Lions fans disappeared fast. Alpha Rob, I don't know who disappeared faster, the Minnesota Viking fans or the Detroit Lions fans. I don't shoot the messenger, right? Don't shoot the messenger. And then Felipe is in the chat, says, go Cowboys always, bro. Listen, I'm a passive Cowboys can, but man, we had a breakup this year, man. What was it, about 2 months left in the season? I'm like, you guys, we got to break up. We got to break up. And that is what happened, is we broke up, and I still worry about my ex, meaning the Dallas Cowboys. I still look at them in a picture and I cry myself to sleep and like caress Dak Prescott's face and say, you're a top 5 quarterback, Dak Prescott. Lead us to the promised land. But deep down in my soul, I know the Dallas Cowboys as currently constructed will not win a game. They will not win a Super Bowl as currently constructed. Sorry, Felipe, but deep down in my soul, I'm a passive Dallas Cowboys fan. I root for them to win. I watch their games. I love me some Dak Prescott. I love the blue and silver. I got my Micah Parsons jerseys hanging on the wall. But damn it, Come on now, come on, right? But guys, let's get into today's show. And let's start off at the top. Let's start off the top and let's talk about those Detroit Lions. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions, the upset of all upsets on Saturday night when they got beat. That's right, they got beat down by the Washington Commanders 45-31. They did give us a great game. It was a great game to watch if you were not a fan of either team, right? Because I feel like if you were a fan of either team, you were very, very heartbroken or you were very, very energetic. But then come the fourth quarter, you were never very easy, right? They were never very easy on either side of the ball. But in this game versus the Washington Commanders, Jared Goff, the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, ended the game with 3 interceptions. That's right, 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions. 2 of them in the second quarter alone. So, guys, when we look at the Washington Commanders taking on the Detroit Lions back on Saturday night, I know it's 2 days ago, Jim. I know. But, guys, is Jared Goff the reason why the Detroit Lions lost on Saturday? So the eye test, right? We are not going to look at the eye test right now. We're going to look at the facts. We're going to look at the facts, and the facts are that Jared Goff went 23 for 40 for 313 yards and 1 touchdown. Let me repeat that. 23 for 40 for 313 yards with 1 touchdown. If you're strictly stat looking, those aren't terrible stats. 313 yards, 1 tutty, but when you are a coach, if you are a coach or you're a commentator or you're an offensive player or a defensive player and you are blindly looking at stats, I don't want to look at the touchdown stats. I don't want to look at the yardage stats. What I want to look up is the turnover stats. How many turnovers did Jared Goff have? And that was 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 2 of which of those interceptions were in the Commanders' 28-point second quarter. But let's go beyond that. Let's look beyond Jared Goff. A lot of the blame is going to be put on Jared Goff. 3 interceptions, 2 of them in the second quarter, leading to 28 points in the Washington Commanders' second quarter, right? But let's look at the Detroit Lions defense. They were not able to stop the Commanders. Let's just be flat out honest. They were not able to put pressure on Jayden Daniels, which that was their big downfall all season long. Back when the Detroit Lions played the Dallas Cowboys and Aiden Hutchinson went down, I said they're not going to win this Super Bowl if they do not get a solid pass rush. That is what made the Detroit Lions defense so great, was a pass rush. It's simple as that. Yes, they did rebound. They still won like 9 games in a row or some of that, right? But look who they played. Very, very subpar, mediocre teams. When they had the opportunity to play a good team like the Buffalo Bills, yes, they scored points, but their defense couldn't stop a bloody nose. The defense had 0 sacks and just 1 quarterback pressure on Jayden Daniels in that whole game. 0 sacks, 1 quarterback pressure. But let's look even beyond that. The Washington Commanders defense, they manhandled that great offensive line of the Detroit Lions. They were consistently making Jared Goff in that pocket move left to right. Jared Goff was uncomfortable all night long because the front 4, not the front 7, not the front 9, not the front 11, the front 4 of the Washington Commanders manhandled the Detroit Lions offensive line all game long. Jared Goff struggled to make those intermediate throws, which he rushed those intermediate throws, which led to the 3 interceptions. But let's look beyond that even. Jared Goff, 3 interceptions. Defense can't stop a bloody nose. They had 0 quarterback sacks with 1 quarterback pressure. Offensive line, the best offensive line in the NFL, getting rickrolled by the Washington Commanders defense. What? But let's look beyond that. Let's look at this play calling. The choice to throw a option pass in a key situation with the game on the line with Jameson Wilson was heartbreaking. How do you take the ball out of your quarterback's hands? You are down by 10 points at this particular point. You are driving down the field and you throw an option pass to Jameson Wilson to basically end the game with the interception. Why? Now, who call was that? Was that a Dan Campbell call or was that a Ben Johnson call? That's the real question, what it comes down to. Who call was that? So, guys, when I ask this question, Is Jared Goff the reason why the Detroit Lions lost on Saturday? I am going to say no. Yes, he was a part of it. 3 interceptions, 23 for 40, a little over 50% passing percentage, right? But the team as a whole just got outplayed. They got outcoached. They were overlooking this game 100%, and they were looking, oh, it's NFC Championship game, easy kind of like, we got the draw we wanted. We got the Washington Commanders. It's a cakewalk, baby. It's Super Bowl time. They still forgot they had 2 more games to play minimum. But then they only had to play 1 game. They were 1 and done. So, guys, is Jared Goff the reason to blame for the Lions' loss on Saturday? Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Me, personally, I think no. He obviously had a contributing fart, but to solely place the blame on Jared Goff, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just like you can't blame everything on Lamar Jackson. Just like you can't blame everything on C.J. Stroud. At the end of the game, it is a team sport. And the defense, let the Detroit Lions down at the end of the game. So let's jump over here in the comments and see what the people are saying. Jonah says, I don't care about Chiefs fan. I just hate the ones that are cocky and annoying. Jonah, that goes for every fan base. In hour number 2, we are going to be talking about the most delusional fan bases in the NFL. And you get a couple bad apples, everybody get the bad batch, right? It is what it is, right? Alpha Rob says, Buck the Bully has nice ring to it. Buck the Bully. I'm not a bully, man. I have changed my ways. I used to be a gangster little white man thug wannabe boy. I've changed my ways, baby. I changed my ways. And John says, shoot the blank talker. What? Felipe says, I believe the Super Bowl or the Eagles will win the Super Bowl. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later in the week. Jonas says they sold they had it. It was a really good game, but it came down to Jared Goff INT. Sold. Jared Goff 2 interceptions in the second quarter was rough. That whole second quarter for the Detroit Lions was rough. 28 points. Yes, they scored 14 points on top of their, encounter of the Washington Commanders, 28 points. But I felt like once that second quarter was over, if the Detroit Lions did not come out and smack him in the face right there in the third quarter, confidence is killer. The Washington Commanders are playing with house money. They are confident. Whatever. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. They didn't care. They were playing like, I felt like the Lions were playing not to lose. And when you play not to lose, you are going to lose those games. When you play like, hey, we're just out here because we're just going through the motions because we know this is a cakewalk, this is an easy game, you're going to get beat. My high school team, a couple years ago, we had to play, it was COVID year, 2020, actually 2021. We had to play the same team 3 times in a season just to get games because people kept canceling because of COVID and all that. We digress. First 2 times in the regular season, we beat them like 60-0, then 65-6. Like we blowing them out of the water. We played them in the sectional game, our first round playoff game. We were overlooking them. Our head coach at the time was like, oh, we already beat these guys twice. We don't need to worry about scouting them or doing this, whatever. They come back and beat us 28-7. Like, confidence is killer. Overlooking opponents is killer. Playing not to lose sucks. And that's what the Detroit Lions did, I think. They played not to lose. And Dennis Weiler might have the comment of the day right here. We're only 30 minutes in, and Dennis Weiler has the comment of the day. He says the whole NFC North was overrated. Not just the Lions, just not the Packers, just not the Vikings, just not the Bears, the whole division. And Dennis, hindsight obviously is 2020. Obviously, the whole division was one and done. The Packers lost to the Eagles, the Vikings lost to the Rams, the Lions lost to the Commanders. The whole division was one and done. Lions 15-2. Vikings 14-3, where the Packers 10-7. Dennis, you might be onto something. After the end of the season, after the Super Bowl is over, let's go back and revisit this question. Revisit this comment. Dennis, I want you to stay around, man, because at the end of the season, I'm going to bring up your comment and I'm going to ask the question: was the whole NFC North overrated? Hindsight's 2020, so I got to say yes, man. Because if you think about it, the Detroit Lions, yeah, they were 15-2, but they're blowing out bad teams. When a good team came into town, they kind of struggled a little bit. I.e. the Houston Texans, i.e. the Indianapolis Colts, i.e. the Buffalo Bills. But damn it, they played the Jacksonville Jaguars. Woo, 50 burger. They played the Tennessee Titans. Woo, 50 burger, baby. Hey, we're the team that scored 40 plus points in 5 straight games or something like that. Like, slow it down, baby. Damn. Alpha Rob says is the defense is why they lost that game. A little Jared Goff, he was rattled. Jared Goff was rattled. When you consistently have to move the pocket, play after play, when front four of the Washington Commanders is beating your all-star, all-pro offensive line, whooping that ass, that's gonna suck. That's a little head case. Aiden Hutchinson and McNeil hurt their defense not being there. Yes, Hutchinson for sure. McNeil, when he went out, I was like, whatever, right? It's just the next man up. But he was a dog. I like me some McNeil. I would love to have him on the Kansas City Chiefs. I would love to have him on any other team but the Detroit Lions, right? McNeil is a dog. When he went down, I think that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes, the broken jaw from Carlton, what's his face? Carlton, I forgot his name, but Carlton, right? When he broke his jaw, that was huge too. So yeah. My man Drew's in the chat says, howdy, y'all. What's up, Drew? What's up, man? John says, no team effort, blah, blah, blah. How scared are you of the Buffalo Bills? If you win, buy a jersey. First of all, I'm not ever buying a Buffalo Bills jersey. And I'm not scared of anybody. I think the Buffalo Bills are actually better than the Kansas City Chiefs, John. So, yeah. BMSD 619, damn, she's fine, says Washington is losing. We'll see. BSM 619 says, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs can beat Josh Allen? Tune in tomorrow and we'll talk about it, man. We will talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills tomorrow. Jonas says, bro is 100% right. Not going to lie. They were all playoff busts. Dennis, you got a fan there. You got a fan there. The Cheeseheads were a field goal block away from being 0-6 in the division. Not wrong. And 416 said the Detroit Lions had no defense. They were injured. No defense. And he says, I agree. And 416. As soon as I posted the score to the Commanders and the Detroit Lions game, the first comment that came in, the post was up for about 30 seconds. It's like, yeah, we had too many injuries. And Detroit Lions fans, this is where we divide. Kevin Cummings, a frequent flyer over here on the Man Hour. Many other Detroit Lions fans, hell, John himself, next man up. But now, when you lose in the division or lose in the divisional round because your defense isn't very good, oh, we had too many injuries. Aiden Hutchinson went down. McNeil went down. Carlton, he went down. Brian Branch got injured. Stop it. You can't have it both ways. Y'all starting to sound like Baltimore Ravens fans like now. You want it both ways, right? You can't have it both ways. Either you own your injuries back in week 5 through 12 when I gave you an opportunity to get that out of the way. Use that as an excuse. But you got no, next man up, baby. Next man up. Injuries is no longer an excuse. You could have used that excuse 3, 4, 7 weeks ago, but you chose not to. Drew says it's going to be hard, doubly hard for the Lions to succeed next season since they're losing both coordinators. They're basically going to start from scratch. We actually spoke on that yesterday, Drew. I said the Super Bowl window for the Detroit Lions was shut. Slam shut. Not because of they've got bad players, not because they're getting older, not because they can't afford these players, yada, 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 because Ben Johnson is gone. Aaron Glenn is gone or will be gone. How good of a coach is Dan Campbell actually with the X's and O's? He's a good rah-rah guy. But is he assistant guy? Is he the X's and like O's guys? That's the real question. Yeah, 416 says, if it wasn't for the latter play they ran with Jamo, I think Detroit Lions had a chance. Yes, that was a questionable play call. The option, flea flicker, whatever you want to call it, pass that he threw the interception to. I believe at that point you guys were just down by 10 points still at that particular time. Driving down the field, I believe it was at midfield if I'm not mistaken. That was a very, very questionable call. And my man Hoffy, I got to give him credit where credit is due. He said Dan Campbell will make a bonehead call and will cost them the game. Now, did Dan Campbell make that play call? More than likely not. It was probably a Ben Johnson call, but I'm sure Dan Campbell was like, hey, dial something up here. Nice. Right? Now, in Hoffy's defense, he was probably thinking more of a fourth down call that was going to blow the call, but still, that call, if you think blew them the game, cost them the chance to win the game, which I totally 100% agree. That was a backbreaker. That's got to fall on Dan Campbell, right? That's got to fall on Dan Campbell. Kevo says Bills Commanders Super Bowl would not shock me one bit. Would not shock me one bit. John says play. Bring ya brung. What are you even talking about, John? Jonas says in the future. In the future, what, buddy? What are you talking about? Alpha Rob says Quinn gave Campbell a taste of his own medicine. All those fourth down calls. Listen, Alpha Rob, it was the middle of the game. What was it, the first drive or second drive? And it was fourth down, and I was watching the game, but I was kind of spacing out at the same time, and I saw the ball go whip in the air. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, the Lions punted. I was like, what? I had to rewind it. The Lions have a punter? Like, I was confused, but yeah. The Washington Commanders were 3-4 on fourth down. And then the Lions were 4 for 4. So, yeah, it was a lot of fourth downs. Both teams had one punt. Julian Kahn says it's going to be the Eagles and Bills. Guys, tune in tomorrow, and we will talk about that. We'll tune in tomorrow and talk about that. Josh Owen says, I know it's off topic, but since 2018 when Mahomes became starter, there are other 16 quarterbacks since 2018 that has got more roughing the passer calls. Josh, bring that stat up when the Toxic Tuesday starts. So in hour number 2 here in about 20 to 30 minutes, bring that up. Bring that up because that is our first topic, is Patrick Mahomes versus the refs. So bring that up. Kevo says, incoming 8-9 season for the Detroit Lions next season. Would not shock me. Would not shock me. Jonas said, in the future, can you do a part 1 of your live stream talking about what the Bengals could do better next season in the playoff run of the Super Bowl? Listen, Jonah, we have a long offseason, buddy. We have a long offseason. We cover each and every team throughout the offseason. So stay around, and we'll talk about your Cincinnati Bengals. I promise. There's several Bengals fans here. Casey says, I think that trick play cost the Lions. Not Jared Goff, but the trick play. Interesting. On the other side of the coin, the Washington Commanders, guys, they've been playing with house money, right? They've been playing with house money all postseason. I'm going to say it, they snuck into the playoffs. They upset the Buccaneers week 1 of the playoffs in the wild card round. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Certainly not me. And then they go into Detroit playing with house money and come out smelling like roses. So guys, Washington Commanders I have been overlooking all season long. Much like most people I feel like a lot of people have really been overlooking the Washington Commanders. So when you go into these games coming out like smelling like roses in wild card game and the divisional game, let me ask this question, guys. Do you think the Washington Commanders are that good, or are they lucky? Are they good or are they lucky? The Washington Commanders, are they good or are they lucky? So when you look at the Washington Commanders, in 2 games, they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions. Jayden Daniels has 567 yards passing, 4 touchdowns just to 1 interception, sacked 0 times. 0 sacks. Think about that. Keep that in mind. 0 sacks. Brian Johnson has 93 yards rushing in those 2 games. De'Ami Brown has 187 yards receiving in these 2 games versus the Buccaneers and versus the Detroit Lions. In the regular season, guys, Jayden Daniels was averaging 209 yards passing per game. So far in the playoffs, 284 yards passing per game. Brian Robertson Jr. averaged 4.3 yards per carry in the regular season. He's down around 3.5 in the postseason. De'Ami Brown had 308 yards total all season long. All season long. So far this postseason, in 2 games, he has 187 yards. Wrap your head around that. They scored 28 points versus the Detroit Lions in the second quarter. By default, taking their rushing game out of the game, meaning the Detroit Lions. And they needed to do that because the Washington Commanders had the 29th ranked rush defense in the NFL so far this season. So, guys, when you look at the Washington Commanders, their wins over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-20, and then the win over the Detroit Lions 45-31. Has it been luck, or are they that good? Guys, I have to side the line of luck. I know I've been overlooking and kind of talking up the Washington Commanders just a little bit, but guys, they have gotten lucky. Let's just be flat out honest. They have gotten lucky. De'Ami Brown. Did anybody know this guy prior to this postseason? Let's just be honest. Has anybody know this guy prior to the postseason? I'm sure you Washington Commanders fans heard of him, but the man only had 309 or 308 yards. I mean, that could be him stepping up and be a time prayer, just like my man Travis Kelce. But that's a lot of luck. And to be able to basically take the Detroit Lions rushing game out of the game in the second quarter, because we know that your rush defense sucks. That is huge. That's a lot of luck. That's a lot of luck involved. Guys, I think the Washington Commanders have been lucky all postseason. And I'm not saying it is going to run out against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that 29th rushing defense in the NFL is going up against the best. That's right, the best rushing attack in the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock East Coast time. Guys, I feel like it has been luck. But I want you guys to ask a question. In the comments below, guys, is this Washington Commanders luck? Is it because they're that good? Or is it because they're lucky? That is the question. That is the question. Kevo says the Lions would have lost regardless of that trick player not working. Let's be honest. Probably. They could not stop the Washington Commanders. Julian Kahn says if you look at Daniels' interception, he has 9. 3 of them came versus the Eagles. Eagles are more physical defense and just believe the Philadelphia is more scary. Julian, I believe so. The Eagles are a very, very dangerous team. And Hoffy says, I've been hyping up the Commanders all year long. Slow it down, baby! AKA Hoffy has been blowing his boss all season long about the Commanders, right? But Drew says, hey, you want some facts? You don't want some facts? The facts are they are that good. Drew says they're not lucky. Yeah, they throwing up some good yardage. Yeah, Jayden Daniels 85% of the Commanders' offense versus the Buccaneers. Yeah, he was 75% of the offense versus the Detroit Lions. But damn it, they are just that good. They are that good. And John says, yeah, me too. I've been hyping up the Commanders. Y'all drunk. Y'all drunk. And Laura says, hey, simply put, they're good. They're good. They're better than the Lions. They're better than my Vikings. They're better than the Packers. They're better than the Broncos. They're better than the Chargers. They're just really, really good. Laura, I can respect that. Dennis says, Detroit is done next year. Got the Steelers, Bucks, Cowboys, Washington, Rams, Eagles, Ravens, Bengals, and your Kansas City squad. Next year's a long ways away. We don't know what tomorrow brings, right? We don't know what the draft is going to look like. We don't know. Hell, Aaron Glenn might be back in Detroit next season. Dennis, we don't know. The offseason is a long offseason. Let's get through the postseason. Let's get through the Super Bowl. Let's get through the draft, and then we'll talk about next season, right? Alpha Rob says maybe the NFC just isn't that good. The big dogs are in the AFC. And Alpha Rob, I think you are correct, right? Because most of the season I said there are probably 8 or 9 really, really good AFC teams. Yes, you have your front runners. You have your Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then kind of give it everybody else. The Steelers, Broncos, Chargers, Texans. You can throw the Bengals in there, right? Maybe the Miami Dolphins. But the NFC is very, very top heavy. We did not expect the Commanders to be a part of those top heavy guys, but we saw the Lions, we saw the Vikings, and we saw the Eagles being very, very top heavy, right? So I guess we'll see. We'll see in the Super Bowl if the NFC can finally win a Super Bowl. That's the real question. Yeah, 416 says, with the team that struggled with the Bears, I think luck had a lot to do with it. And honestly, that was the catapulting point for the Washington Commanders, was that Hail Mary versus the Chicago Bears, right? If they would have lost that game, they wouldn't have been in the playoffs. We wouldn't be in this situation. The Minnesota Vikings might be in this situation right now. Let's just call it a spade a spade. That one lucky win can catapult your whole season. But I'm talking just this postseason run, I think has been pure luck. I mean, yes, they are good, but it's been more luck and then good. Kevo says De'Ami Brown was a beast in UNC. Listen, there's a lot of beasts in college. How about my man Michael Bishop from the Kansas State University? Right there's the helmet, baby. Alumni. My man Michael Bishop was a beast in college. You guys think Lamar Jackson is a good player, a great player, an elite player? Michael Bishop in college at the Kansas State University, that guy was a dog. That man could throw it 85 yards off his back book with the flick of a wrist. He got drafted by the New England Patriots. Sucked in the NFL. Let's just be honest, flat out sucked in the NFL. Tom Brady overjumped him as a second string quarterback. I think Michael Bishop was like third year maybe, right? How about this? Let's throw out a name out there. Trying to think of a receiver that didn't really do a whole lot in college. Tyreek Hill. Mr. JUCO man himself. Yeah, he was speed, but he did not do really a hell of a lot in JUCO or in college in general. First couple years in the NFL, didn't really do anything either. Now his third and fourth year, he became beast mode. He became one of the top receivers in the NFL, right? A lot of college people don't translate into the NFL, and a lot of these greats that you see in the NFL don't have very good college careers, right? It is what it is. And Yaya says it is luck all the way around. There's no denying it one way or the other. It is luck all the way around. I think you're right. Dennis says, ever since the Hail Mary, the Eagles 27-23. We will talk about this Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. We got a lot of time to talk about the championship game. Rob's in the chat. He says, how in the hell would somebody at the Steelers? They are terrible. Okay. They're not terrible. They're a nice, mediocre team. It's Julian Kahn says, luck against Tampa Bay. If Baker Mayfield's Butterfingers, did not fumble it, I believe it'd be a different narrative. Plus, their kicker is 50-50. Lions are not what the record. They're weak at quarterback. Haven't the Washington Commanders been through like 6 kickers too? 5 kickers? Like, sheesh. The Tim Reynolds Show. Guys, go over there and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. He says, I am a Bucs fan, and Jayden looks like he's a veteran quarterback out there. He's not making mistakes and stays cool under pressure. I really think Washington has a real chance with the way their offense is being run. And Tim, I think you are 100% correct. Jayden Daniels is a dog. I said it on Saturday night. I reaffirmed it on Monday's show. I said that Jayden Daniels is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. I think Jayden Daniels is the real deal. Fell into this perfect situation. Now, if he would have went to Chicago, we wouldn't be talking about him just like this. If he would have went to New England, we wouldn't be talking about this. If we went to Denver, probably wouldn't be talking about this. The Commanders were a perfect situation for Jayden Daniels, right? It was a perfect marriage, just like Patrick Mahomes and like Andy Reid, a perfect marriage. Jayden Daniels is the real deal. What I'm worried about in the Commanders and how I think they are lucky is that their defense has kind of been suspect all season long. 29th in like rushing and 10th in pass defense, right? They're not very good on the offensive side of the ball. Plus, you're old. And when your front four manhandles arguably the best lineman or the best line in all of NFL all game long, that is a little bit of luck, right? That's a little bit of luck. And Kennedy says the Eagles versus the Redskins are the top 7 rivalry in the NFL. Thinking about it, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're definitely a top 10, top 7 rivalry in the NFL. It is going to be a great bloodbath game. I don't anticipate it being nothing but a bloodbath of a game. Kawazi Hill says LMAO says every team getting lucky, but JD5 is just different. So are you referring to the Commanders getting lucky as well? Kawazi Hill? Or is just Jayden or just Jayden Daniels just carrying that whole team and making them better? And I don't want to diminish anything that Jayden Daniels is doing. He is being a dog all season long. He has elevated the whole play of this team. This team is not a Super Bowl winning team or a playoff winning team or a playoff team in general without Jayden Daniels. Let's just be honest about that. Jayden Daniels is a guy. Dennis said, I'd still draft Williams first. Caleb Williams does have a lot of bright upside. We will talk about that. Kennedy says the Redskins got Dan Quinn. They're going to have a not okay look at the 2026 Falcons or 2016 Falcons when the head was the head coach. Maybe he's grown from that. So Kennedy is referring to the 28-3 halftime lead over the Patriots, ended up giving that way into that game, right? So let's move on. Let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Los Angeles Rams. We briefly spoke about it in Factor Crap the other day, but guys, the Eagles did come out on top of the Rams in the Snow Globe game on Sunday afternoon. The 28-22 victory for the Eagles flew them into yet another NFC Championship game. However, in the process, Jalen Hurts only threw 20 times and completed 15 passes for just 128 yards. So 15 for 20 for 128 yards with 1 touchdown in that particular game. We have been talking about Jalen Hurts, it feels like every day for the last 2 weeks. But guys, let me ask this question. Will Jalen Hurts be the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles will not win the Super Bowl? Guys, so far this postseason, Jalen Hurts has 259 yards passing. Not great. When you look at Jayden Daniels, 579 yards, right? Almost exactly half. He also has two touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he's been sacked 9 times. So really, not putting a lot of great numbers, hanging onto the ball a little too long and getting sacked. Now, when you look at Jalen Hurts all season long, he's only averaged 193.5 yards passing all season long. All regular season, all 15 games that he played. And I understand the storylines in the NFL. If you want to be a great quarterback and win the Super Bowl, you need to throw for 300 yards. I get it. We want sex. We like naked ladies. We like 300 yards. We like those 3, 4, 5 touchdown games, right? But when you look at just last week alone, Josh Allen beat the Baltimore Ravens by only throwing 127 yards passing. Patrick Mahomes beat the Houston Texans by only throwing 177 yards. Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles are built different. They are built off of a running game, MVP man himself, Saquon Barkley, and the best defense in the NFL. Now, Jalen Hurts will not be the reason why the Eagles win or lose the Super Bowl. He will not be the reason why they win it, and certainly will not be the reason why they lose it. Guys, Jalen Hurts is out there just managing the game like Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni have asked him to do since week 5 of this NFL season. Week 1, 2, 3, and 4, they were asked him to go out there and win them games. They were asked him to throw the ball 30, 40, 50 times in a game. That's not Jalen Hurts. This is not this team. This team is to give it to Saquon Barkley, let him rush for 150 yards, let Jalen Hurts throw for 150, maybe 160, and let the defense win you a championship. So, guys, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, Will Jalen Hurts be the reason why they lose the Super Bowl? I'm saying no. He won't even be the reason why they lose the NFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts is not the make or break team, not the make or break player for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Kennedy says Jalen played with Nick Saban in Alabama. Nice. Kush Smasher says, thinking about getting Lawrence Taylor jersey. You should. LT's a man. My man Derek's in the chat. Good evening, everybody. What's up, Derek? What's up? And Kennedy says, Hurts just needs to play a B game, and Philly will win by 10. Listen, Kennedy, I'm going to take it one step further. Jalen Hurts can be kind of just off the charts, to be honest, like a D game, C game. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, he'll be A-okay. He'll be okay. And Robbie DeFeto says, I got the Commanders winning it all. Robbie, we didn't hear you saying that a couple weeks ago. We didn't hear you saying back in June or July. I mean, you can jump on the bandwagon if you want to, but it is your team, right? It is your team. And Kush Master says the Eagles can't win the Super Bowl anyways. So Kush is saying, hey, they're not even going to get past the Commanders, so why are we even talking about the Super Bowl? But Laura says definitely yes. Jalen Hurts will be the X factor, says Laura. Laura says, hey, Jalen Hurts, you know what? We need you to step up, buddy. We need you to be a little bit of Sam Darnold. Not in primetime games, not when the season's on the line, but the 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., when the Vikings play the Jaguars, that type of Sam Darnold. Drew says his passing yards are irrelevant since the Eagles are the running team. First running team. Best running team in the NFL. I agree, Drew. I agree. I wouldn't say they're totally irrelevant. You still need to pass a little bit to keep them honest. But hey, it is what it is. Alpha Rob says, it's like Hurts hesitant to throw. Listen, Jalen Hurts had 4 interceptions the first 4 weeks of the season, Alpha Rob. Since then, he has had 1 interception. So I think he knows in the back of his mind, and it has been beat in his head all season long. It's like, hey, don't turn the ball over. All you got to do is give the ball to Saquon and let our defense eat, and we're going to win these games. So why not be a little hesitant? Why not be assured that that thing is open? Yeah, you are a big body. You can take those sacks, right? Just don't turn the ball over, and we're going to win. And that's what he's been doing. And they won, what, 10 straight games, 11 straight games till the last week versus the Commanders? Like, they ain't bad. Kennedy says the Eagles, when they play A-plus game, they can beat anybody by 24 points plus. Kennedy, I kind of think that goes for everybody in the NFL. If the Kansas City Chiefs play a A-plus game, they're going to score 30-plus points and beat you by 24. If the Lions play an A-plus game, they're going to beat you by 40 points, right? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. John says if he makes it into the show, he will be the reason they would win a Super Bowl. And Mahomes' numbers wasn't impressive. Nobody's numbers were impressive except for the losing quarterbacks. When Josh Allen throws for 127 yards, Patrick Mahomes throws for 177 yards, but then you got Jared Goff out there for 311, and Lamar Jackson had 254. Numbers lie to you yet again. 13 seconds says I need a massage. Well, go down to your local parlor, pay the $100 to get yourself a massage. Tim Reynolds says the Rams had a real chance in that game. Lots of injuries on the Eagles defense in that game, but the Rams literally fumbled the ball and the Eagles took advantage of it with their running game. Yes. The turnovers were huge for the Rams, right? The turnovers were huge. Philly man 559 says Jalen Carter will win that game. Listen, that guy's a freaking beast. That guy is a beast. When the Eagles drafted that man, the rich got richer, and I was mad. I'm like, damn it. They already have the best front four as is, and then you add Jalen Carter? Like, come on. Yes, Jalen Carter will be an X factor in that game 100%. Kawazi Hill says any playoff team playing A-plus game can blow out anyone. Facts. 1-4 coming soon, meaning the Eagles, I guess. Kennedy says Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. What? Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. It's just that he is not needed. I don't think Jalen Hurts and top 5 quarterback any part of his NFL career has mixed up. Top 10, I could give you that. Top 10, I can give you that. But top 5, slow it down, baby. Robbie DeFooey says if the Eagles win, it's because of Saquon Barkley. I agree. Alpha Rob says the Bills can outscore the Eagles, and Spags and the Kansas City defense will shut the Eagles' run game down. Listen, Alpha Rob, I think the winner of the Chiefs-Bills game will win the Super Bowl. Tim says, question, if somehow Washington can stop the run, can Hurts win the game with his arm? I'm not so sure. I think if you stop the run and don't turn the ball over, the Commanders can win that game. And Tim, we have seen Jalen Hurts get better and better. So, Tim, let me step back a few steps here, right? Let me take a few steps back here. And I was kind of a critic of Jalen Hurts, right? Many people just like who had him in the top 5 here. Somebody said he was a top 5 quarterback. Going back to the comments, I can't find it now. But a guy was like, there is no way he's a top 5, top 10 quarterback. There is no way whatsoever. But when you look at Jalen Hurts from year 2 to year 3 to year 4, he gets better and better and better each and every year. This year, obviously, his games have taken a huge step back because he has taken a step back. But if he is asked to go out there and win you a game, if he is asked to go out there and throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and win it with his arm, I think they can. I think the Eagles are just too well-balanced and too freaking good, right? Excuse me. Lord says, I just hate the Eagles. Anything is a reason why they get that big fat L. Laura says, I'm just a flat out hater. I hate everybody. Oh, Laura. Washington on top since 1999 says the Eagles versus Commanders. Who is winning? Tune in Friday and find out, man. Tune in Friday, or you can tune in Wednesday and find out, or Thursday. Maybe you can put some clues together, a little context clues, and figure it out. And Alpha Rob says, is Hurts still hurt? The concussion is always in the back of your head, right? The concussion system is always in the back of your head. Let's just be flat out honest. So no matter what you do, the concussion is always in the back of your head. But guys, it is our number 2. We got to jump ahead a little bit, and we got to welcome the Toxic Roundtable into the chat. So guys, every Tuesday, we get the Toxic Roundtable together. These are the most toxic guys out there in the NFL. They're not average. They're not below average. They're not a 1 out of 10. They're not a 5 out of 5. They are freaking 10 out of 10. They're the most toxic individuals in the whole entire world. And that is my man, Mark D, and the one and only Hoffy. So without further ado, let's welcome my man, Mark D, in the show. What's up, Mark? What's going on today, buddy?
What up, Buck? What up, Man Hour Nation?
What's up, man? What's up? How was your day today, bud? How was your day? Mark, how was your day?
Oh, my day, it's Tuesday. I'm waiting for Friday, bro.
Well, that's not a way to live. But my man, Hoffy, this guy's a ginger. This guy says he looks like a 30-year-old, acts like a 20-year-old, but plays ball like a 12-year-old, meaning he's not very good at anything that he does, but the middle is always open. The man, the myth, the legend, my man, John freaking Hoffy. Hoffy, what's up, brother?
What's up, Buck? You are full of compliments tonight. Most toxic people of all, and, throwing out compliments on my basketball skills.
Listen, I'm just trying to make you feel better about yourself because we know you are not very good at anything besides blowing in baby mamas. But guys, every here on Toxic Tuesday, guys, we get out 3 toxic tables and we start talking about what makes them toxic and whatever, yada, yada, yada. And the first toxic that we want to talk about, this was brought up by my man, freaking Hoffy. And as you guys know, I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and we know that the narrative across the NFL landscape is that the referees are helping the Kansas City Chiefs win all these games. The referees are calling penalties at the most crucial times and whatever, catapulting him into the win category. So, Mark, when we look at Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs over the last 8 years, why do you think the referees always favor Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? Let me ask you that.
It's like I said, off text, off air. I think that Mahomes is the new Brady. He's going to get all that treatment that Brady got, the favoritism. So there's a lot of quarterbacks that get that treatment, but Brady got it over the top, and now Mahomes is getting that treatment.
That doesn't answer the question of why, though. Is it because he's that good? Or is it because
he's the NFL's golden boy?
So they want a golden boy. They want somebody to be better than everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what they want, but I just know that they always favored Brady, and they favor him now. Well,
as always, you are just blowing smoke. You're just trying to get underneath my skin, and Mark, it doesn't happen. You cannot get underneath my skin, because the facts is that since 2018, since Patrick Mahomes became a starting quarterback, they are the 15th most penalized team in the NFL. That means they're directly right in the middle. There's teams above them and there's teams below them. It's just a simple fact that the Kansas City Chiefs know how to take advantage of when your team jumps off sides. Hoffy, you are
wait, Buck. I did some research also.
Okay.
And the last 10 playoff games that Kansas City's played, they've had less penalties than the opposing team.
So that means they're playing flawless football. That means they learn from their mistakes, right?
I don't know. Take it with what you will.
No, because those are your stats. And my thought process is that Mahomes has one of the best hard counts in the NFL since Aaron Rodgers. What did Aaron Rodgers used to do all the time? He used to get defense to jump off sides, and he would throw the ball deep, right? Patrick Mahomes doesn't turn the ball over because he does that. When you jump off sides, he's going deep, and he's going for the deep ball. Yeah, you might throw it, turn it over, whatever, right? But it is what it is. Hoffy, you are a New England Patriots fan. You lived through the Tom Brady era. I can see you have your old school Patriots beanie on right now. Do you think the referees are giving too much love to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes? Oh, my bad.
I'm going to pull a Mark here, and I'm going to waffle around this.
Come on, Hoff.
No. I mean, yes, it's definitely a questionable call. But that kind of thing is going to happen when it's the most televised, most watched game. Everyone's going to have their thoughts and opinions. Everybody's hating on the Chiefs unless they're Chiefs fans right now. What I will say is, and Teddy Bruschi said this in the whatever show he was discussing, the Chiefs just know how to win whatever game they're in. The Texans show up and they're looking to win the game, but they're not able to adapt. And that's something that the Patriots did in their dynasty run. That's something that, Peyton's teams did. But as a defense, you got to know that there's most likely going to make those calls. It is a penalty regardless if you hit the guy in the head or use the crown of your helmet. So hit the guy in the stomach. Don't hit him in the chest, giving that possibility of hitting him in the head. So whether or not it's a penalty, you can avoid those opportunities of the refs calling those plays by using proper technique or by following the rules of how you're supposed to tackle.
So basically, guys, what Hoffy is referring to is the pass or the roughing the passer call. I use that air quotes because Mark does not think it was a roughing the passer. I certainly do think it was roughing the passer. It was early in the first quarter. I believe it was Will Anderson Jr. came through the line, and his forearm hit the chest of Patrick Mahomes, and then his head hit the Patrick Mahomes' head. And by the letter of the law, Mark, if any head-to-head contact happens to the quarterback inside the pocket, it is roughing the passer. So, Mark, I know you hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I know you hate Patrick Mahomes. When you see that picture of Will Anderson Jr.'s head hitting Patrick Mahomes' head by the letter of the law, by the letter of the rule book, was that roughing the passer?
After the fact, I learned about the rules of roughing the passer, and they're very vague.
How's it vague? Head-to-head contact, it's a flag. That's not vague.
No, it's vague because they can throw it if they have any doubt, which makes it vague. So they're like, "Oh, I don't have a doubt." They could have no doubt on every play. So they just give them free allowance to throw the flag on that call for any quarterback.
So when you see Mahomes' head snap back, Hoffy, the way you did, is there any doubt that there was head-to-head contact there?
Let's not forget the refs don't have access to replay.
Yep.
So they're seeing this in live time. And the ref, I believe, that threw the flag is standing behind Mahomes.
Yep.
So Mahomes' face, Mahomes' body is blocking everything that is seen. So like you said, when you see someone's helmet jolt back, regardless if Mahomes pulled a LeBron James or not, that is going to be called 99% of the time. Do not hit the guy high. Wrap him up at the waist, drill him with the shoulder, leading up high like that, you're asking for it.
So when you guys, let me re-ask the question again. Hoffy, let me start with just like with you. Do you think the refs are giving too much love to the Kansas City Chiefs?
No, I think the refs are going to give love to Mahomes, Burrows, all of these quarterbacks that are, crucial to the NFL making money. So, yes, someone like Bo Nix probably isn't getting that call right now. But the NFL is going to lose money if Mahomes is out hurt, if, CJ Stroud is out hurt, if, some of these other big names, quarterbacks, running backs are out. So, yes, they have to protect their investment.
Mark, same question to you. Is the referee showing too much love to the Kansas City Chiefs?
I think they show too much love to Mahomes because, like I said, I think he's the golden boy. They're not going to let him get hurt. Like Hoffy said, they need him to make money. So, as it goes.
All right. So, a person asked, let me see the pictures. So, I went over here to our Facebook page. This is the screenshot from the NFL referees. Let me zoom in. So, the top one, this is right before Will Anderson's head hit Patrick Mahomes' head. Hit him right below the chin. Hoffy, Mark, when you guys see this, what is your first interaction? Yes, this is going to be a passer or a roughing the passer call, right?
If I'm being honest, it looks like he's leading with the head. So, or he's up at Mahomes' head area. If he drops down and he hits Mahomes in the gut.
Yeah.
To be honest, Buck, this isn't even the one I'm more upset about.
You are more upset about this one.
What I'm upset about is that one is where he was running around like he always fucking does. And he slid, and he knew that once he slid that he was going to cause a penalty. So
let me ask you this, because this is Mahomes as a this time he is out of the pocket, he is rushing the ball. So therefore he is no longer protected by the quarterback rules. However, every NFL receiver, tight end, running back in general, if you go and there is head-to-head contact, there is going to be a personal foul. I don't care if you're Travis Kelce. I don't care if you're Devontae Smith, which he got this call, or Patrick Mahomes. I believe that is Algier making the tackle there. As you guys can see, Algier's head is down. Mark, where is Algier's head compared to Patrick Mahomes' head? Are they eye to eye? Are they getting ready to hit heads?
Well, like
yes
you
or no?
said, it looks like he's going to hit the helmet. You're right.
Okay.
I understand why they made these calls. I'm just saying that they favor the quarterbacks, and Mahomes skirts the rules because he knows that he's going to get these calls.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
He did on that stupid flop play that they didn't call the penalty on, which I'm surprised they didn't.
Which Josh Allen does it all the time. But since it's Patrick Mahomes, you were sad about it. I get it. But I watch
football all the time. I've never seen Josh Allen do that.
Okay, watch it on Sunday, and like you will see it, right? So with your words, Mark, you said yes, he hit him in the head here, and they hit him in the head here. So how are the Kansas City Chiefs getting too much calls, or Patrick Mahomes getting too many calls? Those are clearly two personal foul calls, right?
Those are also calls catered to the quarterback.
Okay, every quarterback's going to get that call. Every NFL player is going to get that call. So
Not true, because like on the Detroit game, freaking Goff got blew up and no call, dude.
Okay, first of all, Goff was a defender at that point. He threw a pick six. He was going to go make a tackle. If you don't want to get hit, get out of the play.
He would have got a fucking call.
What?
If that was Mahomes that got landed like Goff did, there would have been a call, I guarantee.
No, it wouldn't have. If Jared Goff did not want to get hit, he shouldn't have been in the play. He should have got out of the way and not try to make a tackle. Simple as that.
Mahomes would have been standing on the sideline.
Yeah. Quarterbacks are taught to run to the sideline on a pick six. Any more thoughts on the referees giving too much attention to the Kansas City Chiefs? So
Do I like that call?
Like I said, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just saying that I think he's favored, and he will be.
I don't like the call, but by the rule, the way it's laid out, that is a penalty. Should it be a penalty? No, but by the written rule, it unfortunately was a penalty.
So let me jump into comments here. Richard Beck says it was a helmet-to-helmet for Jared Goff. Yes, there was a helmet under the chin of Jared Goff, 100%. However, Jared Goff was a defender at that particular time. If Jared Goff was a passer, if he was a runner, he would have got a personal foul called for Jared Goff. But the fact that he was a defender, we all know that defense can't do anything, right? You breathe on a offensive player wrong, you are going to get a personal foul. Jared Goff was a defender at that particular point. I just want to make that perfectly clear. He threw a pick six. Dennis said the Ravens hit each other helmet to helmet. We are not talking about the Ravens helmet. So that was the Texans game that you're referring to. And yes, Dennis, you are correct. Algier and I guys, do you know who the other person was that made that hit as well? Was it in the here? Let me pull back up. In this bottom picture here, let me zoom it up. That is that Will Anderson Jr. too? I think so, right? It looks like 51, 51.
That's too big of a boy to be him, I think.
Yeah, well, like either, but yes, Richard, you are correct. The Texas players did hit head to head, and when you watched that live, you saw Patrick Mahomes slide late, which I do agree with you, Mark. He did slide late, but those are just the rules. Quarterbacks can slide whenever they want, which is stupid. Take sliding out of it. And we wouldn't be in this situation.
And that's part of the reason why they called the penalties, because he slid, and technically because he's giving himself up. They're not allowed to even be near him.
Right.
Which they hit each other. So I see why they called it, but I'm just saying it's a dumb rule.
Yeah. Well, I mean, other quarterbacks do try to take advantage of that as well. Look at Trevor Lawrence versus.
I'm gonna watch it more now, Buck, for sure.
Yeah, but. Let's see what else people are saying. Looks like that both Texans helmets both hit Mahomes. Casey, go back and like watch that play live. I don't understand why Patrick Mahomes ran back into the middle. So he was on the sidelines, could have easily just walked out of bounds, but he decided to go upfield to try to get some extra yards. I don't understand why, but that's besides the point. If you hear that play, my heart dropped. I thought Patrick Mahomes was dead. like I thought he was dead. Just the way that hit sounded, right? Judas says all quarterbacks do not get those calls. BS. All elite quarterbacks get those calls. Josh Allen gets those calls. Patrick Mahomes gets those calls. Jared Goff does get those calls. Matthew Stafford does get those calls, right? If you are an elite quarterback, a tier 1 quarterback, you are going to get those calls. Now, Bo Nix, Mark, will not get that call. More than likely not. Lamar Jackson will not get that call. Trevor Lawrence will probably not get that call. It's kind of like paying your dues, right? Like you have to pay your dues to be great. But
Trevor Lawrence will get that call because he's already been concussed and nearly killed.
Well, he shouldn't have slid late. Let's just be honest. If you take sliding out of the game, he would not have been concussed.
Can you
They gotta
remind me what team that
look
was?
at this rule, dude.
Texans.
With the sliding, they got to figure that out.
Yeah.
So if it's already happened to them, which he was flagged on that play.
He was suspended for 3 games, I believe.
Correct. So why did they not learn at that point?
Because honestly, Patrick Mahomes slid entirely way too late. Trevor Lawrence slid entirely way too late. And you cannot change a rule in the middle of the season. It's something that is going to have to be addressed in the offseason.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. The Texans, it's already happened to them.
Yeah.
So they know the rule. They know what's going to happen. You know, you fool me once, shame on me. You know,
right? Yeah,
shame on you, or what? How's it go?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
But Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say that Algier is one of the dirtiest players in the NFL, or is that somebody else?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay. There was somebody in the chat that was saying that he was definitely very, very toxic, right, to his team. Let's see what other people are saying. Ryan Nealon says you are not allowed to blow up a quarterback on a turnover. Otherwise, every defender would do it in return. So Ryan, you are correct to an extent. The minute Jared Goff did not get out of the way, he becomes a blockable defender. Jared Goff was probably 5 to 6 yards away from that defender. He was going to go make a tackle. You can block him. The minute he didn't run off the field or just stay put, he becomes a blockable player, just like a punter, just like a kicker. John X says, already explained the claims that the Chiefs' right tackle lines up too far back and falls out with no starts. He is the most.
That's another one, man.
He is the most penalized offensive lineman in the NFL. And now, Mark, now that you jumped on it, let's talk about this. Every right tackle, every left tackle in the NFL is exploiting that rule.
That's another thing the NFL lets them get away with.
Yeah,
not just the Chiefs, but like you said, a lot of right and left tackles.
All your head has to do is cross cross the waistband of the center. And if you're 6'9" and you can line 8 yards back off the ball, as long as your head's passing the line of the center, you are okay. So now, John, I understand you are pointing out. Forget his name. Mark, can you remind me of his name? Taylor, right?
Yeah, but you guys had Tooney playing in tackle.
Right. Well, but Jawan Taylor, I believe the guy's name is the one that you are referring to. And yes, he did start a little early last season versus the Detroit Lions. But John, you are just being a sheep right now. Let's just be honest. You are following what everybody else is saying. The only reason why you are bringing that up is because Chris Collinsworth wouldn't shut his mouth up for 3 straight games about it. Let's just be honest. If you are watching a NFL game, you are not watching the right tackle. But since you're watching the Kansas City Chiefs, you are watching the right tackle. Now, I want you to go back to the Buffalo Bills game just last week. Their right tackle doing the same exact damn thing. Penny Sewell for the Detroit Lions doing the same exact damn thing. You guys are hating on people or hating on the Chiefs because people pointed out. And the Chiefs are on TV more than anybody else out there. Mark, am I barking up the wrong tree or am I totally off guard? Like, do you see other teams doing this as well?
No, I do. I've seen our guy Garrett Bowles do it, and he gets away with it. So, and I don't think it's cool, but it's another thing that they ensure the safety of the quarterback.
Yep. Hoffy, any thoughts on that?
Like you said, I mean, look at Kelsey, you know, the center. Jason, he's always, you know, scooted the ball up. I mean,
yep.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That is a rule that I lived my life by. If you're not playing in the gray area, you are not trying hard enough. Hell, look at I believe it was the center for the Detroit Lions, right? He had his head down, smacked it up real quick, and they actually called a false start on him, which I was shocked. But that happens all the time too. And now that I said that, John, John X, you are going to go out there and you're going to watch the center for the Kansas City Chiefs do the same exact thing. You're like, oh, they're cheating there too. Only because I brought it up, and now you're looking at it, right? Richard Breck says, just like Tom Brady used to do. Exactly. I mean, let's just be honest, Richard, Mark, Hoffy. The NFL is $1 billion industry. Let's say Patrick Mahomes gets hurt in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts gets hurt in the Super Bowl. Are ads going to want to be sold on the Super Bowl because the star player isn't in there?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. Cush says Daniel Jones never got that call because Daniel Jones was never a tier 1 quarterback. Daniel Jones wasn't a tier quarterback. Hell, Daniel Jones is a backup.
Never mind backup. He's a third string.
He's a practice squad guy.
He's a practice squad safety.
Yeah, he was. And then he got cut. Moving on. Toxic fan bases. There are a lot of toxic fan bases out there, including the Denver Broncos, including the Las Vegas Raiders, including the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, there are a lot of delusional fan bases out there. So, Mark, when you hear the word delusional fan bases, toxic fan bases, who is the most toxic, most delusional fan base out there in your opinion?
I hate that you put my Broncos on this list because I don't believe that, but whatever.
Of course you don't.
I may be delusional, but I don't think that as a fan base are. But whatever. I think the Raiders fan base is delusional because every year they think they're going to Super Bowl, just like the Cowboys. I think they're both like neck and neck.
We them boys.
We are them boys. Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl next year. Mark, put it down. Hoffy, you are a part of a toxic fan base from 10 years ago. Spygate, Deflategate, which is Spygate 2, cheating on hookers and cocaine. Who is the most toxic fan base out there?
Fan base. You didn't say, football team. Program.
Hoffy, and in your opinion, who is the most toxic fan base out there?
I think that if we're talking about most delusional person, it's Mark. But if we're talking about most delusional fans, I think because...
I'm a diehard, man. I'm allowed to be delusional.
I just think because they're everywhere. Raiders fans and Cowboys fans, they're going to win that title just because of the amount of, fans that there are. But if you want to talk about just absolute assholes and delusional tool bags, Laura Johnson just said it right there. Eagles, hands down. They freaking threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
And that one guy just cussed out that Packers fan and got fired from his job and banned from all the the Eagles are definitely up there. But me personally, I've been to Oakland in the Black Hole. I've been to Green Bay. I've been to Cincinnati. I've been to Miami. I've been to a lot of these different stadiums. And first of all, the Kansas City Chiefs fans, the Buffalo Bills fans, the Green Bay Packers fans are the most warming, welcoming fans out there. I mean, they will invite you over to your tailgate, have a good time, do this and do that. Now, once you start to move out west, Colorado, I've been peed on as a football player from the Colorado stands in the Buffalo Bill or like the Buffaloes. People peed off the stands onto us as we were walking off to the bus, which was terrible.
Mark was probably one of them too.
It was terrible. Stunk the whole plane ride home. Me. And then you move out even further. You got the Raiders. You got the Seahawks. But you want to know what the most toxic fan base out there, the most annoying fan base out there, the most delusional fan base out there? The San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, come on.
The 49ers are terrible, Javi. Bang, 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 Niner gang. What does that even mean? What? Like, bang, bang, what? Like, what are you shooting? Like, seriously, like, what are you shooting? Are you shooting the gold out of the mountain?
Have you been to San Francisco?
What?
Have you been to San Francisco?
I don't want to step foot in California ever again. The one time I was there, the ground shook for 6 minutes. I was like, what is going on? Like, it was stupid.
I think
95% of the people that live there are gay. That's why it's Bang Bang Niner Gang, because they're a bunch of men banging each other.
Yeah, but the 49ers are pretty bad. They are the most delusional fan base too. They talk so much shit on the Dallas Cowboys. You guys haven't won a Super Bowl since 96. Motherfuckers, you haven't won a Super Bowl since 95. Like, what? Like, come on. Like, what are you guys crazy about?
But what about Philly? I've heard nothing but fans they had a prison. I mean, they had a jail in their old stadium, didn't they?
I don't know.
The whole state of Pennsylvania is just a freaking garbage.
I mean, Jim's from Philly area, and he should know, right? I mean, I personally have never had interactions with Philly fans, right? Besides on Facebook, which they talk a lot of smack. But you know, when your team's good, you can talk smack, I guess, right? But let's see what the people are saying. Washington Commanders fan says the Eagles.
Yep.
And we should have a poll, like who the worst fan base is. But Chase is saying go Birds, and he'll be at the game. So Chase, are your Eagles the worst fan base in the world? That is the question. And Conspiracy Active says shut the fuck up. You mad? You peaked in the 3rd grade. Still peaked higher than you, big guy. Still peaked higher than you. It is what it is. Richard Bex.
I'd like to know if the jail is still there. We should find that out from a Philly fan.
It absolutely is.
So the jail was inside. So is this like a holding cell for like fans just being like crazy, or is it an actual jail like people are serving time there?
No, it is a holding cell for.
Okay. So for
you've
drunk
arrested, the cops will come grab you and.
But they're the only team that had one.
I feel like every stadium's got to have some type of holding tank, like
they probably have a holding room.
Yeah, but not like a jail, like behind bars.
Bars.
That's funny. Richard says the Eagles are the worst, but Dennis says, "Whoa, Bills Mafia." Hoffy, you are a Bills fan too.
They do crash through tables.
Yeah, but they're also welcoming, right?
No. They're the most lovable losers there are.
Yeah, 0-4, baby. 0-4, Alpha Rob.
The Bills fans, I think, are pretty awesome, and that's coming from a Patriots fan. I would, if I had to choose to go to a tailgate right now, and I couldn't go to a Patriots tailgate or a 49ers because those are my two teams, I would absolutely choose the Bills tailgate
while wearing an opposing team jersey, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm jumping through a table, and I'm chugging stuff out of a bowling ball. I mean,
and Hoffy wakes up 6 days later, his back's still hurting. Cussmaster says the Eagles. Laura says Eagles hands down. Overwhelming, it's the Eagles. But then Alpha Rob says the Jets and Ravens are very delusional fans. Yes, the Ravens and Jets do have delusional fans. I do have to agree with
the Bills
that as well.
Don't like the Jets or the Giants because they're all in New York.
Yeah, well, they're in Jersey, aren't they?
Technically, yes.
All right, so speaking of toxic, the Chicago Bears, they just have a toxic dumpster fire of an organization. Let's just be honest. They haven't been very good for a very, very long time. Chicago Bears fans are excited yet again. They got their head coach. They hired Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions as their newest head coach. Hoffy, Mark, the last couple head coaches in Chicago, they do about a 3-year stretch. So, guys, will Ben Johnson be fired in 3 years, Mark?
I'm going to say no, because they're finally doing different things that they haven't done before. Like, they went out and got all the weapons for Caleb Williams. They would have never done that in the past. I think now that they got this offensive mind to kind of grow with Caleb, it's going to be good for them. And it's something that they've never done. It's always been about defense. Now it's not. Because Caleb is their guy, their future, and they need him to succeed. So they need Ben Johnson to succeed.
Hoffy, Chicago Bears are near and dear to our heart. We love to hate them, right? They go through coaches like Combs goes through condoms once every 3 years. That's why he has 15 kids. But they are a very toxic organization because they should have fired Matt Eberflus last year to get a new head coach in there to draft a quarterback this season, and they built that relationship. The reason that I'm saying every 3 years, because I don't know who the TikTok guy is, but he says it is Groundhog Day. They draft a quarterback. A year later, they fire their head coach. 2 years down the road, they draft another quarterback because the head coach wants wants his guy. It's an evil cycle every 3 years. So that's 1,095 days. Hoffy, does Ben Johnson last more than 3 years in Chicago?
He certainly won't last more than 2 or 3 years if he's calling offensive option passes like he did down by 14 in the playoffs. But I don't think that the Bears helped themselves this year. I think when we've discussed this a lot, the 3 rookie quarterbacks that went 1, 2, and 3, the Bears were the most likely to be a successful team. And, the Commanders are in the playoffs and potentially going to go to a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. I don't think that the Bears are going to attract free agents, certainly not this year. So I think that this coming year is going to be huge for them to attract free agents and stuff. So I think Ben Johnson definitely has his work cut out for him. He is, I think, who the perfect coach for him. They've finally gone to an offensive-minded coach, but at the same time, we don't know what kind of coach he is. So I just think that the Bears might have been better off with a coach that we know. And back to last night, a coach that's going to hold his team accountable. Is this guy going to be, like a hardball and just ooh la la with his players and playing card games on the plane and such? Or is he going to get after his team and be a tough coach?
So, Mark, let me ask you this question, but because you, as a Denver Broncos fan, you went through a rebuild process with Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and this now your quarterback in Nix. How long realistically do you think the Chicago Bears give Ben Johnson? Is it just 2-3 years, or is he actually going to get time to actually rebuild this team?
If they're smart, dude, they'll let him rebuild the team and they'll go past the 3 years. And like you were saying, like Hoffy was saying, like he could be a soft-minded coach, but I think him coming from Campbell, a guy that's like hard-nosed, and grit, I think that he's going to be just fine in that category.
Yeah, so the question that I've always had is, obviously Dan Campbell is the hard-nosed face of this franchise. Was Dan Campbell the good cop, bad cop thing? Kind of like what Andy Reid and Eric was in Kansas City, right? Eric was that hard-nosed, in-your-face guy, and Andy Reid was kind of the kumbaya guy. With Ben Johnson probably being the kumbaya guy, Hoffy, do you think he can actually lead a team and get the grit and the hard nose and expectations from the Chicago Bears?
He doesn't strike me as that type of person. But at the same time, he's not the one that's building this team. It's Ryan Poles. And although he made a great trade to, trade that number 1 pick and got that haul, they lucked into Caleb Williams, but they didn't impress anybody last year. So he's definitely got his work cut out for him. And I just don't think that he's going to be able to come in there and demand the locker room like a Mike McCarthy or somebody would have been able to do. I like the guy. I wouldn't have minded him with the Patriots. I think that he's a great offensive-minded coach. I think he's going to be a great coach. But I think a lot of coaches fail in their first opportunity. So I could see him failing here in Chicago, and his second opportunity ends up being, a better fit for him. I mean, look at Josh McDaniels. Everybody thought that he was going to be this great coach. He was offensive-minded. He went to Denver, and
Mark how'd that turn out?
That one.
Yeah. So
then he came back, and then he went to the Raiders, and same thing. So I mean,
right. So in 3 years now, since he is the Patriots offensive coordinator now, he'll be in probably New York in 3 years, right? So, guys, let me ask you this question. Obviously, we have the offseason still. We have the draft. We have the schedule to come. I'm not still. But realistically, expectations. If you are a Chicago Bears fan, Mark, what is your realistic expectation for next season? Is it playoffs or is it just a 500?
That's a tough question. But I think the one thing I do want to say about Ben Johnson is that it takes a lot of guts to stay in your to take a head coaching job in your division.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I guess part of it also is those teams really well, so you know what you could do against them. But I think it takes a lot of guts to do what he did. And I think if you just see Williams develop, kind of like Bo Nix, like I'm not saying he had a great season, but I mean, if you see the upscale, you see the ceiling rise, then yeah, I think it's going to be a good fit and a good year for them.
Yeah, so Mark, I'm kind of in that same boat as well. I left a head coaching position in my town to go to a different a school, our rival school, which is in our conference, in our division. We play them week one. But the reason why I made that decision because I'm familiar with the teams and it's easier to do. Hoffy, what are your realistic expectations if you're a Chicago Bears fan?
I mean, we talked about playoffs coming in this year, and they bombed. So I think that you can't expect that same thing. I think you have to think 500. We talked about, is this the most overrated, conference or division? Or you did at least earlier. But the Green Bay Packers have a quarterback in Love that's proven. You can say he's turns the ball over a lot, but he did have a great second half. Who knows what they're doing with Sam Darnold in Minnesota, but they were, the second best record in the NFC, and you still have Detroit. So he's got a tough task in front of him, staying in the NFC North. But at the same time, he did make the decision to stay in the North. So maybe he knows something, but we'll see.
All right, guys. So that was definition of waffling from Mark and Hoffy. I saying Super Bowl, baby. Chicago Bears are the Super Bowl with Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, bald-ass Keenan Allen. They go in Super Bowl, baby. They go into the Super Bowl. But
You're
guys,
so full of shit. Your eyes are brown.
They are. But guys, we're 100 minutes into today's show. We are officially 100 minutes into today's show, and how we end every show is a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. So if you guys are new here, consider subscribing, consider liking the live stream. We are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, and we do it after our Pigskin Pundit show Monday through Thursday. Hoffy and myself do after hours on Monday. The whole crew is here on Tuesday with the subscriber hangout, and myself and Mark do it after hours on Wednesday as well, and then trivia Thursday as well. But guys, it is time for a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. I've been scouring the old interwebs. I've been seeing what the people are saying, in the comments, and we determine if they're fact or if they indeed are crap. All right, guys, so the first fact or crap of the day, we are going to go to this offensive coordinator landscape. We are going to go to these coordinators that are always taking these big name time jobs and jumping ship and going to head coaching position. Most prime example is Ben Johnson as a Lions offensive coordinator. We are also seeing other big names leave their teams and flop in the NFL, i.e. Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy, the greatest head coach or the hottest head coach in the NFL, went to offensive coordinator outside of Andy Reid, flopped in Washington, flopped at UCLA. Now he's a free agent head coach. So with that being said, Mark, I'm going to ask you first, fact or crap? Is the offensive coordinator position the most overrated position in the NFL as a coach? Fact or crap?
I'm going to say crap that you call it overrated. Because the NFL, let's be honest, it's an offensive league. So these guys are the main guys coming up with all the plays, making all these offensive players look fantastic. So yeah, that's why they are the cream of the crop.
So they are saying the cream of the crop because they make all these play calls. They put in all this system. They make Jared Goff look like an elite guy. They make Sam Darnold be an MVP caliber quarterback. So you're saying crap. Hoffy, fact or crap? Is the offensive coordinator position the most overrated coaching position in the NFL?
That sounds like it was spoken by someone that's never coached before. I would say that the offensive coordinator position is the most important position. If you have an offensive-minded coach, if you have an offensive-minded coach, then yeah, it's the most overrated position, and it's crap. So I guess it depends on who your head coach is. It's either crap or fact?
All right, so let's give a hashtag waffle down in the comments. So Hoffy was definitely waffling around. But you guys are saying crap. I see Coach Master saying crap. I see John saying crap. But my man Alpha Rob says fact. It says fact because a quarterback makes the offense of a coordinator. Alpha Rob, you are right to an extent. But guys, the correct answer is fact. It is fact because 90% of the offensive coordinators in the NFL, Mark, do not make the offensive play calls. 90% of the offensive coordinators do not put in the scheme into any type of college system, high school system, NFL system. It is the head coach. The head coach, 90% of the time, is putting in the offensive scheme, calling the offensive plays, being the offensive guru head. The offensive coordinator is a glorified position coach at the end of the day. That is all it is, a glorified position coach. So Eric Bieniemy, the reason why he flopped outside of Andy Reid, because it was the Andy Reid system in Kansas City. It wasn't the Eric Bieniemy system. He wasn't even calling plays. He goes to Washington, he shits the bed. He goes to UCLA as the same position as offensive coordinator. Keep going down the chain. What does he do? He shits the bed yet again. Now,
come on, Buck. Look at the Washington Commanders now with Cliff Kingsbury. You can't tell me that Jayden Daniels would be successful if he didn't have Cliff Kings, and we had Dan Quinn calling the plays there.
I'm not saying Dan Quinn is calling those plays there. Cliff Kingsbury is calling those plays there.
Right. So in that point, the offensive coordinator position is most important. I'd say it's probably even more important than the goddamn head coach position.
So in 10% of the positions out there where the offensive coordinator is actually calling the plays and putting in the system, yes, you can say crap, right? You can say crap. But 90% of the time is the head coach's system, is the head coach's call, because offense wins games and the head coach wants a little bit of glory. Mark,
yeah, look, Denver Broncos, they don't need an offensive coordinator. They got Sean Payton.
Exactly. So therefore, it's an overrated position.
Okay, so what about Ben Johnson we were just talking about?
What?
Is he overrated?
Ben Johnson? Yeah. I would, honestly, I don't know. Because was he calling the plays or was Dan Campbell calling the plays?
Oh, who's cooking up waffles
he
now,
was.
Buck?
Okay, so I would say Ben Johnson in Detroit, he is definitely not overrated as an offensive coordinator, right? And in that particular position, he wasn't overrated. But in 90% of the atmosphere, Hoffy, don't get all. You're starting to look at my wife.
You're taking my answer now.
Just saying.
You call me fucking waffle boy, and then you give my exact answer and take credit for yourself.
I'm not. I'm just listen. I gotta make pancakes here because
give credit where credit is due.
I already gave you credit today. Richard Beck says, "Are they though? A lot of head coaches doing a lot of play calling." I say crap. So Richard's kind of contradicting him like himself there. Laura says crap. Alpha says, "Look at Dayball when he left." Not very good. John says, "An old man bald emoji with his hand over his head." Is he sleeping or is he like upset? Like, John, what is that emoji supposed to be, man?
Looks like Joe Biden.
Yeah, he looks like he's crying and eating ice cream all at the same time. Alpha Rob says, but Daniels makes that offense work. Listen, Jayden Daniels is an outlier. Let's be honest. Jayden Daniels makes everybody better. He makes Cliff Kingsbury better. He makes Dan Quinn better. He makes that defense better. He makes everybody better. Jayden Daniels is a real deal. Richard Beck says, I would guess Ben will also be calling the plays and not the offensive coordinator. Exactly. Ben Johnson will be calling the plays in Chicago as a head coach. So therefore, the offensive coordinator in Chicago would be overrated. Glorified positional coach. John says, and the OC is responsible for the results. No, he's not. John is...
So not in every case that they're overrated.
But John keeps calling himself this football expert. John keeps calling himself the old man river. John keeps saying, I know football inside and out. John, name me one time when a coordinator, defense or offense, has ever taken a blame for a win or a loss. The head coaches take blame for the losses. Quarterbacks take blame for the wins. The only reason why we know who Ben Johnson is because he's interviewing head coaching, right? How about this, Mark? Do you know who the offense of a coordinator is for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, Matt Nagy.
Only because you like my Kansas City Chiefs. Hoffy.
No, because I'm an expert.
How about this, Hoffy? Who is the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins?
I don't give two shits.
Exactly. Mark, who is the offensive coordinator for
They have an offensive-minded coach.
For the Minnesota Vikings?
That one I don't know.
Exactly, because Kevin O'Connell is
O'Connell.
no, he is the offensive coordinator. He does call the plays, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Drew says, so the offensive coordinator is overrated or not? Is based off who makes the play calls.
Yes.
I mean, I guess
Sounds
so.
a lot like what I said.
Yeah, waffle. Anyways, moving on. As we look at some of the greatest in the NFL, as you guys see here, Tay and TK are on the screen. But guys, as you guys know by now, Travis Kelce has now broken Jerry Rice's all-time record with the most 100-yard receiving games in the postseason. He has now 9 of them. When you look at some notable 100-yard receivers in the NFL, Julian Edelman has 6. He's sitting at 3. Michael Irvin has 6, sitting at number 4. Antonio Brown has 5. Larry Fitzgerald has 5. Right? Mike Evans has 4. Tyreek Hill has 4. Stephon Diggs has 4. Devontae Adams has 4. Guys, Travis Kelce has 9 of them. Mark, fact or crap? Travis Kelce is the greatest postseason tight end / wide receiver ever.
I'm going to say fact because I'm not going to deny his records and all the touchdowns and everything that he's done. But yes, that's a fact.
That is a fact. So he is saying fact. Hoffy, we've seen Travis Kelce do great things. Wide open touchdown pass to basically put away the Houston Texans last week. Hoffy, you're shaking your head. I know you got a Travis Kelce
Houston
jersey.
couldn't cover him, Buck. They couldn't cover him.
They left him. They chose not to cover him. But Hoffy, is Travis Kelce the greatest postseason wide receiver / tight end ever?
To be the best, you have to beat the best. And Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce cannot
Of course,
beat
you're going
the
to say
best.
that.
They cannot beat the best? Who is the best?
Nope. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, baby.
Okay.
Spike.
So you're saying crap. Okay. So Mark, do you know how many 100-yard postseason games Rob Gronkowski has? Gronk, Mr. Spike Man himself. Ooh, Gronk hungry, man. You know how many he has?
I'm going to say not many.
He has 4. 4, Hoffy. 4. Julian Edelman has more 100-yard games than Gronkowski. So how is
But he's got
Tom
a lot
Brady
of
and Gronk the
touchdowns,
greatest? What?
But Gronk's got a lot of touchdowns in the playoffs, though.
He has 7. You know how many Travis Kelce has? 9.
Like 14.
9.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's had Tyreek Hill. He's had other complementary wide receivers that would actually be number 1 wide receivers on other teams. Tom Brady has never had a number 1 wide receiver.
What does
outside
that
of
have to do with
Randy
anything?
Moss, but Gronk was
That would mean Gronk would get the ball more. Like, stop it. You are digging yourself a hole. Hoffy,
No,
put the
that
shovel
means
away.
they're
You're
able-
digging yourself a hole. You're making
No. You shut your mouth. That means they're able to double team Gronk, which is why Edelman is able to have the game that he has because they're taking away Gronk. They're not able to take away Kelce when you have to put a safety over the top to help with Tyreek Hill.
Hoffy, last season, 2023 for the Kansas City Chiefs, who was their number 1 receiver?
Do you think I can remember last year?
Exactly, because they didn't have a number 1 receiver. They double-teamed Travis Kelce all postseason. How many 100-yard games did he have last postseason? He had 2 and 2 touchdowns. He got half of Gronk's total in like 54 playoff games.
Okay, but Gronk is a better all-around tight end. This Travis Kelce does not block the way Gronk can block. If we're talking an entire tight end package, as well as the fact that Gronk was always goddamn injured.
Oh.
But
So
I'll
now we're
take
using a Detroit Lions excuse. Got it.
no, I'm just saying that Kelsey's got more.
If
games
he was
in the playoffs than
100%,
Gronk.
he would have caught 500-yard games.
Hey, don't forget Gronk retired for a few years, too.
Yeah,
What?
and he retired for
I
a
said
few
Gronk
years.
retired for a few years before he went to the Bucks.
Yeah, and still came back and dominated.
So Mark, you're saying fact. I'm saying
Against
fact.
your Chiefs.
He didn't dominate that game, but
Of course,
whatever.
he's not going to agree. He's a freaking Patriots fan. He's not going to deny Gronk. Come on.
So Mark and I are saying fact. Hoffy, you are saying crap. Let's see what the people are saying. So, guys, fact or fact is Travis Kelce the greatest tight end / wide receiver in postseason history. Rodrigo says
Randy
Mahomes
Moss
is going
was
down.
Not on our team when we had Gronkowski. I made that perfectly clear.
Robbie DeFito says Kelce is considered a receiver. I said receiver / tight end. And if you want to go greatest tight end ever, I mean, he trumps the next closest guy to Grob, which he had 4. So it just Travis Kelce, wide receiver. I was trying to give you guys the benefit of the doubt to put up Michael Irvin, to put up Jerry Rice, to put up Hines Ward or Fitz or what. But Travis Kelce is a dog. He's a dog. And John says padded of numbers. He's padding those stats. Mark,
I got to admit, I kind of agree with him, but I only agree that in the sense that Kelce's got these records because he's played in a lot of playoff games.
him and so if I'm reading this correctly, Gronk has 13 more playoff games than Travis Kelce. And if I remember correctly, Jerry Rice doesn't have his number of like games, but it seems like they were always in the NFC Championship game, like every time Jerry Rice was was there. So that's at least two games every year. So, but same with Michael Irvin. But Richard says give Travis a different quarterback. Is he still great? Yeah, he was great with Alex Smith. He just came into his prime with Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes elevates him, though.
Okay, how about this?
Just as Tom Brady, just as Peyton Manning did with Dallas Clark.
Right.
What a good quarterback does. Yes, he's still good, but he is great because of Mahomes.
Right.
I mean, we'll call it elite.
And if you want to go,
he's a great
tight
end, but elite with Mahomes.
And if you want to go down that route, is Gronk great or elite without Tom? He never played without Tom. At least Travis Kelce has stats with Alex Smith. So,
I think he's great by himself. And, he coming out of college, he had all those back injuries. The fact that he even had a successful career is something. But Tom Brady absolutely made him elite.
So
you see the work ethic that Tom Brady puts in at practices, et cetera. That is what pushed Gronk. And I think that's the same thing that you see with Kelce and Mahomes. They push each other, and that's what makes them both great.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Rodriguez says the best tight end in the postseason is Gronk. That's false. It's Travis Kelce. Hands and feet.
Tony Gonzalez.
Maybe
if he played.
Yeah, maybe if he made it to the playoffs, right? But John, of course, he's going to go old school Raiders. He says Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. John, so my list that I have goes down to 50 players that have 100-yard games in receiving in the postseason. Tim Brown is not on that list. Don't shoot the messenger. Facts are facts. But Alpha Rob says fact. Drew says fact. Cushmaster says fact. I see Tony G. Tony G was not in the playoffs very often. I don't think he ever even had a 100-yard game in the playoffs. Young 9 Slim says no best receiver tight end is Antonio Gates. Once again, Antonio Gates never won a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. So,
nope.
Laura says crap. And then she's puking because she's jealous of Tay-Tay. And Drew says, Hoffy, you are arguing because you just don't want to admit anyone is better than the Patriots.
Truth.
Going back to Tay-Tay, though.
Yeah.
Where the hell did Caitlin Clark come into the picture?
I mean, she's from Iowa, so she's always been a Chiefs fan, so why not go into the box?
How the hell did her and Tay-Tay link up, though? Come on.
They were in the same box.
On the same level.
They were in the... So... The reason why Caitlin Clark was there is because the rest of the WNBA is playing that stupid 3-on-3 league, right? And she's like, F that. She's going to go show her face at a Chiefs game. Why not link it with Tay-Tay? Why not?
She was also on the Kelsey's podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Anything else, Hoffy?
Yeah, she should be sitting out in the nosebleeds, out in the freezing cold. She's not on Tay-Tay's level. She shouldn't be in the Kelsey box.
You're right. She is above Tay-Tay. She is the greatest women's basketball player ever. That's right.
False.
I said it. Who's better
Diana
than her?
Taurasi would smoke her.
Now with that big ass nose of hers, she'd still be falling over herself.
Did Caitlin Clark make the basketball team this year?
Are you talking about the Olympics?
Yeah.
No, she did not. But did the non-Olympic team beat the women's Olympic team in the All-Star game? Yes.
Yeah, but they weren't playing the starters. They were playing the bench players. And you think they really gave a crap about that? But Diana Taurasi at 42 years old is still starting for Team USA.
Whatever.
Sue Bird. How's that one? Even she's better than
She
Caitlin
is
Clark.
so ugly. You know who is really good, though? It's Angel Reese, right?
Asia Wilson is way better.
No.
I like Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
I
like
love her.
Yeah. Not as good as the Cavalier twins, though, with those size AAA titties.
Cavalier twins? Are those the ones the
They're in
University of Miami?
Yeah. So they went to Miami, and then they left. They went to like TCU or LSU, and then they left again and come back to Miami. But long story short, guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining us, guys. We are live, or I am live every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We do got the Agile Hour starting here in about 5 minutes. So if you guys are a Pigskin Pundit, there will be a link sent. Actually, we'll go live and we'll post a link. Click on the link. Click the link. Allow your camera, guys. It's not that hard. Click the link. Allow your camera. Bada bing, bada boom. You are in. Until then, guys, we out. See you tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time.
Peace.